Hello, good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog, Thursday the 9th of April. Hope everybody is well. Going to start off, apologies if my phone mount is a bit rattly. It broke the other week, I forgot to mention it yesterday. I've done a fix on it, so it sounded alright, but apologies if it is too bad, let me know and I'll replace. Right, just want to start off, a couple of thank yous to Gary and Ken. Left me a comment last night saying glad to see me back. Thank you very much, guys, much appreciated. Hope you're all good. Also had a comment from Buy72, I think that's right, about my job from Huddersfield to Colchester, and made a great comment, really good comment. I should have rang the shipper up. I wanted that job and I should have rang them up. You might well be right. I can't remember, obviously sometimes on these jobs on the CX it says no phone calls, e-quotes only. I can't remember for the life of me if that's what it said. But irrespective of that, I sort of respect the process that it is a bidding zone. It's done online for a reason. You know, if you're in a transport office, you want your phones clear for your customers to ring up and give you work, not drivers ringing up. In my case, they're probably pleading for that job to take me back home for some money. But it is a good point, and it's something I will bear in mind. And if that comes up in the future, I may well bite the bullet and make the phone call. So thank you for that comment, much appreciated. Right, on to a couple of matters before we get on today's hilarity. I'm not going to comment too much on the fuel crisis that we're engulfing us all. It's been well spoken about and well documented. No idea when the end is near. For me personally, you know, I don't use fuel cards. I've mentioned this before. I don't like the fuel card companies. I don't like having to keep ringing up and asking them to drop their prices because the competition is cheaper. I can't be bothered with it. And also I had some issues in the past where invoices came in and amounts had been put on there that I hadn't had, and then you've got the process of trying to get a credit or get things cancelled, and it was a ball ache. So I've got a garage that's near to me that I use. With the current crisis, I suppose I'm shopping around a little bit. I do tend to fill up every 2 days, and the way I am looking at it, to fill my tank up completely is normally around about 80 to 85 pounds if I've got about 50 miles left in the tank. At the moment now it's around the 110 mark, so that's an additional £25 to fill the tank up. That will last me 2 days. That will probably be 5, maybe 6 jobs on the CX. If I can stick an extra £5 on each of those jobs, I've covered the increase in fuel. That's the way I'm going to look at it for the moment. Obviously in the longer term, there will be a worry if this continues and it starts getting rationed, but we are a important service, so hopefully we will be kept out of any rationing or anything like that. Just one other quick thing on the fuel as well. Working just the CX, I do what, 45, 50 jobs a month, probably for anything 25, 30, 35 different shippers. Haven't got my eggs in one basket, so I can put that extra £5, maybe £10 on a job. If you've got your own customers, you may well be tied into some sort of contract. You may have agreed your rates for a period of time. It might be a few months, it might be a year. Got a friend of mine locally to where I live, runs Arctics, he pulls trailers out of the docks around the Essex area. And he's got a contract for a year. He's running 5 tractor units on it. Regular work, daily work. This company keeps them busy. Well, 2 companies actually keep him busy with this work. Picks a trailer up from the dock, delivers the load, reloads the trailer, drops it back in the dock, picks another one up. But he has contracts which one is August of this year ends, and the other one is September of this year it ends. He has an agreed daily rate for so many miles, a daily rate with so many miles included. Don't know what the figures are, not interested. And then if you exceed that daily mileage, then you get paid pence per mile. He cannot put his prices up. He's tied into a contract. He's pleaded poverty a little bit with his customers, but because his customers the other agents, if you like, are the customers are overseas and they're not as affected as badly as us, it seems. He can't get any increase, so he has to suffer it out of his profit. There may be some couriers that also have that problem with fixed prices, so having all your eggs in different baskets sometimes could be a blessing. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the fuel problems of the moment. Some positive news, good news. I do like a podcast. I mainly listen to football podcasts and some crime bits and pieces. We have a courier podcast. I've been looking for ages. There's a few American ones around, but I've not been able to find anyone in the UK. But we have one. It's called the Courier Journals, and it's available on Spotify. Lovely lady called Emma. She's based up in the northwest. She's done 3 episodes so far. Episode 1 was just an introduction to the podcast and what she's looking to do. Episode 2 was all about her and what she's done in her life in the courier industry, and she's done it all. And she's still currently doing it all, and she's posting jobs on the CX. So if you're on the CX, some of her comments on there are interesting. Episode 3, it is a difficult listen. It's not her fault, it's just the communications between her and her guests wasn't the best, but just one of those things, but still a good listen. Apologies, I can't remember the guy's name, but he is a courier. He explained his history in the courier industry, which is about 3 or 4 years, but he's actually bringing out a new app which is going to come into play hopefully around the summer, called Courier Bids. Bids, B-I-D-Z. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. Please listen to the podcast. We really could do with a good podcast in the courier industry, and I really, really wish Emma all the best with this. I hope she gets people listening to it, people commenting and subscribing, etc, 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 and hopefully over the course of time she'll have some good guests on there. Courier Bids, they are accepting people to go on a waiting list to try out their app when it comes out. I have put my name down. I'm prepared to take one for the team. No idea about any information about costs, starting dates, whatever, so please don't ask me that, but please listen to the podcast, and see if someone else can become a competitor to the CX. Not that there's anything wrong with the CX, but competition is good. Hey, we have competition every day from hundreds of other courier owner drivers, etc. So won't hurt CX to have some competition, will it? Right, on to today. I left you yesterday on my way back from Oxfordshire. Didn't get anything on the way home, didn't expect it, not surprised, but I did win a job for this morning. It was a small van job from Colchester, and it's going to Northwood, which is northwest London near Harrow, for those of you outside the metropolis. Small van job, as I said, 82 miles. I bid £100. I thought that was competitive. Got a phone call from the shipper. It is a local based shipper I have worked for before. They did ask the question. They said they've had quite a few bids. I'm not the cheapest, anything I can do on the price. But he did caveat with saying that he would like me to do the job because it's a new customer. Normally they would put their own drivers on it, but driver holidays, I think, and work schedules meant that they needed to sub this one out. And I sort of said to him, well, look, you've answered your own question. You want someone reliable to do it, but I'm not the cheapest, which he agreed. So, got £100 for that. 9 o'clock collection. I was on site at 8 o'clock. It's just a small industrial unit. It's going to be one box on a pallet, 45 kilos. I turned up at 8, as I said. Nobody there, no surprise. The Google said the office opened at 8:30 and the job was booked for 9, so no complaints. Guy did turn up at 10 past 8, and he knew all about it, sitting inside the office. He helped me, got it on board, and I was off site at 10 past 8, quarter past 8, something like that. So, no, a bit later. No, I tell apologies. It was half past 8. That was fine. Hour and 3/4 to get down to Northwood. Got there at 10:15. It was a residential address, a beautiful, beautiful house. 4 brand new Mercedes sitting in the sweep driveway. The only people in were the maid and housekeeper. So we had a little bit of a problem about where it was going to go and what it was. Fortunately, the gardener turned up, and between us, we put it in the garage. He helped me offload it, so that was a brilliant bit of luck. And anyway, I was done and off site by 10:30. Just went back up to the M25, just over that junction 18. There's a Shell garage on the way to Amersham. So I parked up there. It's got a Costa coffee in there. I've been in there before. Nice guy. So I got myself a coffee, sat and looked, and as per normal, yeah, not a lot of jobs coming around that area. There were some prices I put on. Here we go. You might think I'm too cheap, you may think I'm too expensive. Watford to London Northwest 2 for a long wheelbase, 18 miles, but the shipper was paying, he was telling us it was £40. Really 50 is my minimum for long wheelbase. And as well, it's 18 miles, but it's 18 miles in London traffic. That's probably going to take you an hour. So I left that one. I didn't even bid on it. We had 2 jobs out of High Wycombe. One to Crawley for a long wheelbase, 60 miles. I bid £80, didn't get it. And also one to Enfield with a small wheelbase, 41 miles. I bid 60. I didn't get that. Not overly surprised. I was 35 minutes away from the collection. And the last one I bid on was Slough to Hythe in Kent, small wheelbase, although I think I might be wrong, I might be right. It said 2 pallets, 120 by 100 by 120. I don't, do they fit in a small wheelbase, 2 pallets that size? I thought perhaps not, but anyway, that's what they wanted. 92 miles. I bid £100. I thought that was a good price, but the job was still sitting there half hour later. Got to just after 11 o'clock. I decided I'm going to move. Didn't think there was a lot there. I made the decision I'm going to make my way back to Essex. Went to Brentwood Junction 28 of the M25. I'm going to sit there just on the road up to Brentwood. There's a Shell garage and a little parking area for a Japanese restaurant where you can park, and a tea stall there. So I made my way there, got there at 12 o'clock. I thought if I'm going to blow out for the day, I'm going to blow out in Essex in an hour or so from home. 1 o'clock I got a job, came through on the CX. It was from Wickford going to Baldock. It was for HBC Logistics, I will name them, no problem. So I switch over from CX onto their own app. I am on their own app. The difference is CX it's 60 days payment, go onto their own app, it's 30 days from date of invoice. 57 miles the job, long wheelbase. I bid £70. I thought that was probably about right for the time of day, and bearing in mind it's probably that or nothing. Did get a phone call straight away, so I was there on site half an hour away. I got there just on 1:30. Little bit of delay, they were just finishing the goods, and it's not a criticism of HBC, love you dearly, you do give me some work, but they do ring you up all the time finding out what your ETA is. They rang me twice on the way there. I told them I'd be there for 1:30. They rang me up about 1:15 and again about 1:25, someone different. Left at 4, got there at what was it, about 3:30, and again about 3:20 they've rung me up asking me how long. You know, I've said 10 minutes, and they're fine with it, and they're all really nice. Thanks very much, doing a great job, blah blah blah. But just let us drivers get on with the job. I presume the tracking doesn't work on their own app. But yeah, come on, just, you know, if you're doing it on your own app, you've checked us out, you know I'm a decent driver, please just let me get on with the job. That's my only plea. Pete, the trucker, you've got contacts there, mate. I don't know if they do the same with the trucks, but have a word. Anyway, all empty. Yeah, 10 to 4. I'm not going to get anything this time of day, probably in Baldock. So I'm making my way back home. It's not too bad for me. I've just got to go a little bit down the A10 here, and then I can cut across onto the A120 to Stansted Airport, and then stay on the A1 to A20. It takes me all the way to Colchester. So probably about an hour and a half in all, I'll be home. And obviously when I've done this, I'll start looking for a job for tomorrow. Shipper did ring me today, giving me a job for next Friday, which is nice. That one's in the bag, so that's always good. Got about 2 or 3 shippers now that just ring me and say, can you cover this regular job for me? There's another one that goes from Braintree to Hemel, and there's one that goes, again funny enough, from Braintree that goes down to Crawley. So they're quite nice. They just ring me up now, do you want to do it? Yep, okay, fine, job done. Right, I've waffled on 15 minutes. Apologies for that. Hope you're all well. I hope you kept yourself busy. Hopefully things will start to pick up next week once the kids are all back at school. But yeah, good luck. Thanks very much for listening. Take care, and we'll talk soon. All the best, Paul.